Welcome back to the Capture Your Confidence podcast. This week we have a really special episode for you. I am joined on stage with my dear friend Hannah Wardenburg, the co-founder of the Wealth Collaborative, and we talk all about the bravery that it took and the courage that it took to build a business specifically for women in an industry that is loaded with older men. And I cannot wait for you to hear the wisdom that Hannah brings to the way that she's building her business with integrity and growing her family at the same time. This was an excerpt from one of the live interviews that we did at the State of Women Conference.
3 years, because then you're gonna have a big sum of money that you can then go invest with that. And so anyways, I just felt this calling that women needed to be heard, they needed to be served, and it wasn't fair for business owners to have to wait to have access to this type of support.
So this is a really good example of being heart-led and mission-driven and starting a business from a place of like wanting to fill a gap. And I think most women who start businesses start there, but where the wheels fall off the bus is when they get into it and they realize like, oh shoot, I'm punching. And I got to imagine, because I literally don't know a woman who's built a business who hasn't had that moment, that you quit your job and your security, and then you started a business and you were like, oh, okay, we had a different field, it's a different ball game. So can you talk to me a little bit about some of the mental things that were happening for you as an early entrepreneur and how you navigated that?
Oh, yeah, so quit my job right at the end of the year and turned around the next week, filed for my LLC, was on like cloud nine. You remember that feeling when you started your business? You're like, it's official! And no one else has this name! Like, it's great! Or an Instagram handle, like there's all these fun little things to celebrate, and then the work starts working, you're like, oh. It took me 4 months before I was able to even solicit to generate my first client. So those were very testing months because I had to go through the whole compliance process of becoming an approved wealth advisory firm. So navigating that was a lot of surrender. It was a lot of surrender and trust in myself and keeping the mission really forward focused in my brain, knowing that this was a bigger purpose for me to fulfill. But it certainly came with a lot of challenging conversations with my spouse, who's also an entrepreneur of, we just let go of a very stable salary, and we had a 1.5-year-old at the time, and other financial goals that we had to push pause on because it takes a lot to get a business started. And so it was just such a season of surrender and trusting in my mission and vision. But I cried a lot. I certainly felt like I was failing many times and still struggle with that. And I just, have to keep the mission focused forward, not just for what I do, but what I want for my family. It's challenging.
If you've ever heard me talk on stage anywhere, then you'll know the heart behind my work is always encouraging women who are building their own thing to continue going for it, because no one talks about the part that derails them, and it derails like more than 80% of women who own businesses. And so, whether you're climbing a corporate ladder or you're building your own business, you're often put in a situation where you have to ask yourself, am I really gonna double down on me? Am I really gonna put my money where my mouth is and go after the thing that I wanna go after? And unfortunately, I see women take like a baby step, and then they get scared and they crap out and they kind of like back away from the ledge. And I want to have conversations about what that sounds like for women mentally, so they can recognize they're not the only one sitting alone thinking those things that they're thinking. Now, when we look now, you've been in business for how long?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. So it's still early stage of entrepreneurship, but the wheels are spinning now, right? And so we've got momentum. What are you finding in this season of your business is the biggest hurdle that you're having to navigate?
I'm coming out of one right now. It's called the first trimester. Yeah, so my husband and I always wanted to have more kids, and my husband actually, when I was in my corporate career, he was deployed overseas. He's a captain in the Army National Guard in Missouri, and he was deployed when our daughter was 3 to 10 months old. didn't talk about that much today, but that was a season of working hard and just head down, pumping in the car, pumping at my office when the curtain fell down on my window and I had a male partner across the hall from me, doing what I had to do, like surviving that season. Pregnancy brain, where am I going with this? Today. So back this summer, I had, since the business began in January of 2024, I traveled 19 different times. From January of 2024 till July, the last time I saw Whitney was in Atlanta at an event. And I also saw her in June at an event. I had 2 events in June. Like, I packed my schedule with so much travel to network and get the business off the ground. And I found myself in June, July of this summer in a complete burnout moment. And I say that, and I think we all think we know what burnout is, but I actually got some health testing done and found out that my body was actually completely depleted of every mineral that you should have. And we had been trying for this baby for, I think 10 months at the time. So in July, I really pulled everything back. I mean, I'm very grateful to have an amazing business partner. That's an amazing story in and of itself, but who really stepped up. But I stepped back completely. I started working about 10-hour work weeks from July until August. I mean, I'm really, and in that time, the beautiful thing that happened, I got pregnant. Like, what a God thing, honestly. But it was just such a sign that you have to give yourself permission to ebb and flow in different seasons, where there are seasons where you work hard and there are seasons where you pull back, and you have to give yourself grace and just trust that you're doing the right thing, because family matters. It just does.
How many of you guys just pooped your pants a little bit when she said she was working 10-hour weeks? Because my little ambition monster inside went, no, the wheels will fall off the bus. We can't do that. Anybody else? I'm the crazy person? I just think if you're an ambitious person, that is a really scary notion. So what are you saying to yourself, or what practices are you putting into place in order to stabilize emotionally with knowing you're taking your foot off the freaking gas on a thing that you have literally been going full speed at?
I didn't know how to do it, and the mentor that I've been working with through all of this, immediately when I got these test results, I was like, okay, so what do we do? I was like, what do we do? How do I fix this? I need this fixed ASAP. Is this a next week thing? How soon can this be gone? And she's like, that's just the thing, Hannah. You don't do anything. You just be. And I never knew how to do that. To be with myself, to listen to my body. And it turns out it was screaming at me so loud, but I was filling my calendar, filling my time, always thinking about the next thing, and I was not able to hear the voices that was actually inside of my head, inside my body, that was slow down. It's all going to be okay. And guess what? Sometimes when you slow down, you actually speed up on the other side. There's some really beautiful things that have come out of the last couple of months. We had more client inquiries than ever, and I have not made a social media post until I literally got on the plane yesterday. And somebody was like, I've missed seeing you on social media. I'm like, I needed to take a pause. It is fine. It's totally fine, but it's so many tears, obviously. It was so hard, but learning to just be with yourself and allow yourself to listen to the voices that are inside your bodies telling you something, don't ignore it. Just please don't ignore it. I would not be sitting here with this opportunity, with this gift, and enjoying it, because I would just be thinking about the next thing, probably.
So obviously the theme of today's conversation is how to work smarter, not harder. So I want to talk about some of the things that you've done inside your professional life in order to work smarter. Tell me, what are some things that you're doing that will either take things off your plate, buy you back time, all that good stuff?
Setting boundaries, setting very clear boundaries with clients. Is huge, because the type of work that we do is we're very involved in our clients' lives. I mean, we're touching and managing one of their most precious assets, their money, and we take it very seriously, and they really understand that piece of it. But also, the fact that we work with women and other female founders and other mothers, and like they get it, so we set that clear boundary from the get-go. Like, I have been in the situation in corporate where you are just working all the time and answering emails all of the time, and there are set days where we can chitty chat, and like I certainly hope none of you are in like hundreds of thousands of dollars of needing to liquidate cash immediately emergencies. Like, we really set the expectation of how we communicate, and that has given me that ability to work 10-hour weeks. And the other thing is, I've mentioned I have an incredible co-founder, and we just share this mission, and she actually came on board about 7 or 8 months after I started the company, and we were just very aligned in our mission. And so build it with others around you. Like, you have to do that. The business probably wouldn't have survived the last couple months had I not had somebody that I relied on, that I could rely on. So whether it's a co-founder, whether it's a team member, whether it's like a volunteer friend, like, find the person that really is bought into your mission and ask them for help.
How many of you guys struggle with asking for help? Let's talk about that. Can someone give me an example of a place where they feel like in their career they really need help, but they just like can't let go? Yeah, Jess.
Well, it's not career, but it's kind of career.
Give it to me.
I was, and literally do feel like I'm drowning. And like, if my business is going well, then I'm being a terrible mother or wife. And like, the laundry's piling up, and we just have to buy new underwear because I didn't get to clean anything. So I actually in May like broke down and hired a personal assistant, and that changed our quality of life in such a great way that that was like the first. I need help, and you kind of have that thought like, why can't you work and manage your house? Like, what's wrong with you? I just have one 8-year-old. And so yeah, I got an assistant this year, and it was really fulfilling for her to like organize my pantry and help me get the laundry done. And I'm really weird about hanging up certain tops that you don't go in the dryer. But I gave it up, and I was like, if she ruins the top, she ruins the top. It's fine. And it's been really, it's been awesome. It's nice to come home and free.
Did you guys all hear that?
Can you applaud for that? Like, talk about using your money for good purpose, so that you can be a good mom and fill your mission. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I've said it before, and I'll say it until the day that I die. Every woman needs a wife, okay? 'Cause it's even if a woman just worked a normal 40-hour-a-week job that she could mentally clock out of, she still could not do it all the way that we have been made to believe that we have to. Mindy Willard.
We were actually just at an event yesterday, and somebody had a profound statement out of a book that said, just because we're capable doesn't mean we have to. Just because we can do things doesn't mean we have to do all those.
And unfortunately, we have been bred to be over capable. That's what it's like to be a woman today. And I feel passionately, and I know you do too, about stripping away what we have to do and doing what we're great at, so that we can make space for other people to do what they're great at. Like you just said, she loves to organize her pantry. Love and light, babe. I'm so glad that made you happy. No, it's a no for me. I'm so glad that makes you happy. And now we both win, because you got to do a thing you liked, and I didn't have to do a thing I was never going to do.
And I get home instead of doing dishes and laundry and clean up and doing things. It's done, and I can go on a bike ride with my daughter.
And breathe. Oh my God, and you can breathe.
Can we talk about capacity for a minute?
Bible.
I had not heard or understood the term capacity because I thought that capacity just meant what my calendar said between 5 and 9 p.m., 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. Yeah, my alarm used to go off. Let me get real with y'all. My alarm used to go off at 4:30 a.m. every morning. That people told me I was crazy, and I was so bought into that for 1.5 years of my life. But literally now, the last 3 months, I haven't set an alarm. You guys do it. It will change your life. I'm just saying, like, so many of us think that if we don't get up and like have our reading time in the morning and walk on the walking pad and walk the dog and make the lunches and like everything before everybody else, like we're all conditioned to think we have to work like 80 jobs a day. It's literally changed my life, and everybody in my household is so much happier for it. But capacity is a real thing, and that is not just managing your calendar. Capacity is managing like what is up here. What is your body telling you? I've learned a lot about nervous system regulation lately. You will be able to do more to produce better work, to actually, you know, like sitting down and writing a caption or something for Instagram, and you're sitting there spending an hour on it. What if it only took you 5 minutes because your mind was so clear, like it just came right out of you? That's what happens when you build in capacity.
As someone in the industry, please do not ever spend an hour writing a caption on Instagram. No one's gonna read it. Okay, it's fine. You can just absolve yourself of that worry if they're not reading it. Okay. Just tell them what's at the end of the video, and then it's done. And just like an emoji, and you're good.
This is why we hire Whitney, you guys.
So, does anybody have any questions around navigating their career, whether it's navigating, you know, really wanting to stand out in the workplace or wanting to scale your business? What are you guys struggling with when it comes to your career? I see you, Marissa.
Well, I kind of actually wanted to go back to the wealth management piece.
Rock on.
Would that be okay?
Of course it is.
Okay. So I have felt that I have gotten stuck. I have felt like I have learned how to do the move it piece, and I think I'm doing that okay. But where I'm getting stuck is in the multiply piece, and I feel like I've been taken advantage of by other financial investors, or like I just have too small of retirement accounts. And so could you help us, like, what should we be looking for in either self-managing our accounts, or how do we do this? We're busy. I hate investing. I hate thinking about it. So what advice do you have for us along those lines?
Yeah, well, first of all, I am sorry to hear that you have felt like you've been taken advantage of, and there might be some other women in this room that share that sentiment, and again, that's a big reason of what we do. You mentioned, like, I'm busy, I don't like to do it. Right? And that's where we get stuck. Like, we don't want to clean out our pantries, we don't want to organize it, so we don't do it. So what do? You delegate. And so you've already made the decision to delegate. It's about finding the right person that you trust. And here's where, whether it's us or someone else, really pay attention to this if you're having conversations with people about your finances. Are they asking you about you? Are they asking you about your goals? Are they getting to know you to figure out what actually matters most to you so that they can actually help you prioritize where it needs to go? What happens a lot of times, like you mentioned, is like my accounts are too small or whatnot. Like they won't even give you the time of day. And it's unfortunate that sometimes it takes maybe 3, 4, 5 interviews or conversations before you stumble on the right person, but it is so personal that you absolutely should feel like you can trust this person, and they absolutely have to ask questions to get to know you. That is what's missing. I will just say, and this is not a plug for me at all, there are phenomenal advisors, male and female, out there. But all of you, I really do encourage you to delegate, because this is just another thing that just lands on your plate and doesn't get done. But the trust piece has to be really strong, and you have to feel like they see you.
Are you saying, Hannah, that there is a financial advisor that would take a portfolio no matter how small it was?
Yeah. So you want like the back end of like how the businesses work? I think we could peel it back. So you guys want a little? Okay. So there's a couple of different types of ways that people get paid in this industry. One is they might like sell you products and then they earn a commission off of it, right? Those types of people, there's wonderful times and places to incorporate products like that. But when we're looking at like your whole financial situation, your life, like that's a holistic view that we need to have. So that's not the right person to have that conversation with, because it's very transactional, right? It's not relational. Then there's the other side, which can be more relational, but there's two different ways that people get paid. One is based on assets under management. It's a percentage of whatever you bring in. Typically, of average fee is like 1% of your assets. So there's a lot of firms that are like, they won't take clients unless they have $1 million to manage, because then they're gonna make 10 grand off that client that year, right? There are clients though, or firms that charge that AUM that don't have minimums, but here's what happens. You end up on the potentially the bottom of the totem pole for advice and guidance, and they don't return your phone calls, nor do they proactively reach out because you're not really paying them much, right? That's a disadvantage for women who are diversified. What we do at the Wealth Collaborative is we are a flat fee structure, because every single client deserves the same amount of time, advice, and guidance, and it's becoming more popular for firms to go to a flat fee model, and potentially also charge an investment management fee, which we also do, but it's much less than the typical, because we want to get to know you, we want to spend the time, we want to truly take it off your plate, we want to coordinate with your tax advisor, your tax strategist, your estate planner, and that flat fee model allows us to give you that advice and guidance, no matter if you've got $1 million in the bank or 100,000 in the bank, whether you've got a 7-figure business or a business that's just starting out. Those are the different ways of evaluating the financial advisor that you might be interviewing or working with to know if they're right for you.
Does that help? Marissa, is that helpful?
I think the aha moment is what you said. Like you might have to put the time in to find the right person, and you just have to make the decision that it's worth the time to invest. Like a therapist, I've been through several therapists, and you sometimes have to find the right one that works for you, and it takes a lot of time to get there sometimes.
It does, and it's a lifelong relationship. That's the whole point. Like, I want to see your kids go to college. I want to see you sell your business and like buy the beach house. Like, you want to build a relationship with them, you know?
Who else has career questions, things they're really struggling with right now? Yes.
Well, thank you both for an excellent presentation and great discussion. I have a question about scaling, and particularly in the services space. I am a lawyer. I've had clients who are in products and services. Being a lawyer, oftentimes people don't think they need you. They usually need you from the beginning, but then they come with their problems later. So wanting to get your thoughts on scaling in a services space.
Yeah, I can speak right to this as someone who in the last 6 months has built an agency that's growing faster than I can get my hands around. You have to bring on more people to do the work. So tell me right now, it's your own business that you own? How many people it's just you? And are you doing all the admin stuff too? Oh, baby child. Okay, so here you go. Well, first of all, you're only doing this if you feel financially solvent to do that, okay? So listen to the peoples that tell you about your monies, okay? But if there's cushion, the first thing that you're gonna put off of your plate are the things that you do not have to do. Usually that's admin work, okay? So whether it's corresponding with clients or even triaging your inbox, managing your marketing, there's probably 1,001 things that you do. So if you struggle to know where to start, create a time audit of where you're spending your time, and then lump those tasks together and see, okay, this will bulk save me 10 hours a week, this will bulk save me whatever, and just start offloading it. And the great news is you're in a room with a lot of people that are in the service industry that are helpful, so they can take things off your plate if you network well and you know what your highest need is. The second thing that we have to think about with scaling is that it's going to come to a point in service delivery where you cannot manage all the clients that you have. Are you there yet or no?
Well, if I did a lot less with the administrative side, I probably could, but I'm getting there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So then after you offload all that administrative stuff and you're literally doing delivery, then we have to say, okay, we've reached my max capacity from workload when it comes to delivery. So what do? I bring on another lawyer. Yeah? And so you're gonna have to think about what the payment structure looks like and your overhead, right? You still gotta make money on bringing in the clients and the cost of the company to be able to do that work. So I would start with the admin piece, and then I would think about, okay, now how can I buy back some of my delivery time? Cool? Yeah.
Can I segue segue onto that, so I'm gonna drop you back and say, you're still growing, and you're not quite ready to scale, but you can feel the momentum. How do you maintain that momentum and keep growing so that you know when to scale?
I freaking love this. Okay, so in my opinion, you gotta know what you're killer at. And if you had more hours in the day to dedicate to the thing that you're great at, you can probably grow it. So for me, in my example, I'm killer at sales. Okay, so if I were to get rid of my time in service delivery, I could spend more time networking and in sales, and I could get more clients. So I know that's the rightest place, that's the place where I need to go. Where are you best served, and where could we not duplicate you in the business? What do you do?
Oh, I'm a designer, interior designer. So, but I'm also one of those like savant, like won't forget your name. So I also am kind of
Yes.
in the networking world. I love that. All my friends are like, where is she? It's like a human Rolodex. So I'd be like, oh, this is Whitney, this is Hannah, boop, and I move on. But so I love networking, and I am very, very strong in that. But I also like the marketing side of things, so I try to hold on to that, though I know that's a component that's easily deliverable to someone else.
Yeah.
But as an interior designer, I love being in the element of like pushing the furniture around, picking it out, doing that kind of thing as well.
And I never want to suggest that you pull out of the parts of the business that you love, but I do want to suggest that we put you 70% of the time in the seat that nobody could do for you.
Yeah.
And so if networking and creating relationships and moving the business forward from that perspective is the best seat for you, and as the CEO, I would argue that it is, then that's great. We bring on junior designers that handle some portion of the design, and then we come in to fluff and judge and do the fun things at the end, right? So we get all the fun part, and they have to do all the grunt work, and I'm sorry you work for my company, so hello, and you're welcome, right?
And then one more question on that is, what if you're not financially solvent just yet to bring on a junior? Like, is there a way to create almost like a collaboration where it's like a junior, like they get the business, they bring it in under your umbrella? So that's kind of what it is.
There is a season in scaling where you're scaling up, but personally you might have to scale back.
Okay.
I have just seen this happen, where we just have to have honest conversations of, I know where we're going, I know what's possible 6 months from now, if I can bring on this person, if I can delegate this out, like revenue is going to skyrocket, and I'll be right back to where I am. But as a business owner, you're taking on that risk. Like that's natural, it's inherent. Of course, you have to take care of yourself, your bills have to get paid, like the important things have to stay, but there is a season where you have to just get honest about priorities, and is it scaling so that you as a business owner can get to that next level? What's it gonna take? There might be a little give and take there.
And to piggyback off of that, I would tell you, if you're gonna bring on a hire and you feel like you're not financially solvent, bring on one that's revenue generating for you.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's marketing, or that's, a junior that is charged with bringing business in, like I would make the position revenue generating. And actually in our afternoon panel, I know Danielle's gonna have some really good ideas on this too, because she is very, very wise when it comes to this, so you guys are in for a treat. We've got time for one more question before we move on. Does anybody else have a career question? Yes.
I have a question. It kind of piggybacks on what they're talking about with getting help. And I'm a real estate agent, and I've had people be like, you should hire an admin, you should hire a showing assistant. And I think my block's always been that, well, the client wants me. So like there's no one that can replace, like how do they have
I have suffers from this before. This is the other mic. And it was my ego. They don't want me to have a job, or they want a job that well. And we might have a great relationship, and they don't, it doesn't mean they don't want to interface with me, but what they desire is the end result that I'm giving them, not necessarily me. And I had to really work to get over that in order to get out my own way and scale.
Yeah, and I heard you say the word convince, and I feel like that's what we feel like we have to do, is like, oh, they're not gonna like this, I gotta pull them over to their side. But when you keep it so payoff focused and on them, hey, this is actually how this benefits you. Like this benefits you because now you have like two of my brains working for you all of the time. I have, there's just ways for you to really keep it focused on the client and not make it about yourself. And that's like what we all want to do, right? We think we're great at what we do, so we make it about ourselves, but Make it about them, make it about the payoff they desire, and they'll really see that when you get to know the client and you can really articulate that specific thing they want. If you can keep it focused on the payoff, they're not gonna care who else comes on board.
Hannah does a really good job about this, and here's what that means for you. I'm bringing on another agent onto our team, and here's what that means for you. And position it as they get way more access or way more value or a way better outcome than they would ever get with you because your time is stretched. So you're gonna get way more of X.
The other final thing on this topic is going back to boundaries is it's all right to bless and release people, okay? Protect your peace. Bless and release the people that don't also see that you have values and a family and, your own time and schedule and sleep's important. Like, just bless and release.
I love that.
Thank you so much, Hannah, for being here, for traveling, and for sharing your wisdom, not only about finances, of course, but about building a business. I'm so grateful to call you a friend.
Thank you, Whitney. Thank you for having me.